You need to make sure you avoid this massive mistake when doing rent to rent. Hello and welcome to the Property Unleashed YouTube channel with me, Mark Fitzgerald. And you need to be making sure that you do not make this massive mistake when starting out in rent to rent. And what is that mistake? Well, it's making sure that you set yourself up as a business. Now, you'll hear me say this a lot. You'll hear me say this all the time, but do people take notice of me, and do people actually go out there and set themselves up with this sort of method? And I'll tell you for a fact, they don't. They might listen to it, they might agree with it, they may not agree with it. But what I'm finding more and more is that people just are not doing deals that are good for their business. They're doing deals that they just think are sweet while they're running around doing everything. You cannot set yourself up like that. Why? Because you are just building yourself another job. If you're trying to get out of the rat race, if you are trying to remove yourself from the 9 to 5 because you want to grow your own property business and you're going to use rent to rent as a strategy, whether that's with HMOs or whether that's doing serviced accommodation, it's all fine. But you need to be stacking your deals and doing your numbers to make sure that you are a business, to make sure that you have cash flow, to make sure you know what your income is and your outgoings will be. Otherwise, all you're going to actually build yourself is a massive headache. And I see far too many people now that have got to the point where they've got a few deals under their belt and then they come to me and say, Mark, I can't remove myself from this business because if I actually pay somebody to do the work that I'm doing, which is everything, I won't have any profit. Well, how's that a business, and how have you set yourself up for success? So if you're only looking at a few properties that you want to have and you're going to self-manage those, not using all the systems and not wanting to outsource to anybody else, then that is fine. That is fine. You'll be good. You'll be good to go. And it's a great way to get started if that's the only place that you want to get to. But if you're looking to scale your business, if you're looking to really, really ramp it up to the point that you'll have financial freedom and you'll be able to not only pay people and give them a job in your business, whether that's self-employed or not, but you'll be able to pay people to do the work that doesn't really grow your business. You can focus on continuing to get the deals, continuing to work with the letting agents, continuing to work with the landlords and grow the business. You need to be making sure you're factoring in all the expenses that you're going to eventually have. So you need to look in your area. You need to look at what local rates are for pay. So if people are going to be doing viewings, how much do you need to pay people to do viewings and onboardings and checkouts? How much are your local handymen to go in there and do the silly little jobs that you shouldn't be, after a certain point, spending any time on yourself? You shouldn't be in there changing light bulbs, fixing leaky taps or anything like that. You should have your systems in place and you should have the people in place to be able to do that for you at a cost-effective rate. Now, when I say a cost-effective rate, if you're building up rapport with handymen and women and everybody, then you should be able to get a set rate agreed. And this will happen over time, though. I will say that. It's not going to happen right at the beginning. Right at the beginning, if you're setting yourself up for success, you want to be putting a management fee into your deals. So something that pays for your systems, your tenant software, your PRS, your ICO, and of course, your insurances as well. And also any other systems or Google Drives, domain names, websites, everything need to be on a spreadsheet. They need to be accounted for. Okay, and you need to be putting it down as a cost coming out of your business. I see far too many people saying, I make £500, £1,000 profit. I'm going to earn all of this in a year, but never actually look at what everything else is costing them. So make sure you have a spreadsheet, if nothing else, and put these costs on, what they are each month and what you know they're going to be each month as you're going forward. This will set you apart from about 95% of anybody else out there doing rent to rent, listening to just going out there, getting deals and creating financial freedom. Build a business. You know, I train and teach my students to build a rent-to-rent business, whether it's with HMOs or whether it's with serviced accommodation. It's about building a business that you can scale if you want to, and you don't necessarily have to, but you can. And you can scale that business and give yourself maximum profits. You can pay people to do the jobs that you don't want to do. You can pay yourself a good wage, or the wage that you want to pay yourself, that is most cost effective for you. And realistically, you want to have double the profits as well coming in. So you've got a load of profits building up in the side as well that you can then go and invest in anything you want. You can invest in property, you can invest in stocks, you can invest in bonds, you can invest in whatever it is you want, but you've got a stockpile of money that is building up there. Try not to get into the trap of moving your lifestyle straight away right up to where your profits are, because if you have a rainy day, or you want to invest in something and you're spending all your money because you've got this fancier car, you've got this bigger house, you've got this lavish lifestyle that's eating all your profits away, then when times are hard, and times will be hard at some point, you won't have a rainy day fund, you won't have a nest egg, you won't be able to build the legacy piece that potentially you want to be building. So look at rent to rent as a business and set yourself up as a business. As I say, that's what we do on the Rent to Rent Business Builder, because it is all about making sure that your margins are right and making sure that you're doing good deals. And it's a lot easier to do deals if you're set up as a business owner and you're treating it as a business as well. So when you're talking to landlords, when you're talking to agents, you're talking to them as a business owner, as a business entity, okay? I think I've said business enough in this episode, but mark my words, there are so many people out there now that cannot remove themselves from their business. These aren't students of mine. These are people that are just going out there, grabbing the cheapest courses, or just going out there, reading the books and the podcasts. And don't get me wrong, some people are doing very well and absolutely killing it just doing that. But all too often, I'm seeing people that aren't. And it does annoy me. It does upset me because it gives rent to rent a bad name. And rent to rent done successfully with landlords and agents that want to work with you is a fantastic strategy to do. I've made mistakes in setting up my rent to rent business, as everybody does. Nobody's perfect, but I tell you what I do now is I make sure my students don't make those same mistakes that I made, with the support and help that potentially I would have wanted when I was starting out. And on that note, if I can help you in any way, please feel free to reach out to me. Also, visit www.thepropertyunleashed.com and download the 10-step guide to building a rent-to-rent business. It's just been revamped. It's looking really smart, and there's a free training there as well to make you and help you set up your business before you get out there and make mistakes. There's also a 10-step serviced accommodation guide to, again, building a business. You get the trend here, you get the trend. And we also have a deal analyzing spreadsheet. So realistically, if you go there and you download those 3 resources, which are all free, you shouldn't make the same mistake that I'm seeing 95% of other people making. And you know what is really, really nice? When you've got your cash flow sorted, you know what your income is, you know what your outgoings are, and you know then where you can start employing people to do the things that maybe you don't enjoy, and maybe where you need to cut back and maybe get a few more properties to help pay for other employees and things. But when you're in the thick of it, when you've got 3, 4, 5 properties and you're doing your holiday lets, or you've got your HMOs, it's very, very difficult at that place if those deals do not stack well to be able to change it all around, to then be able to change your profit margins and things. And you'll end up, which I don't want to happen to you, because we want to be entrepreneurs. We want to be property entrepreneurs, if anything, getting out there, getting stuck in and making sure that we're making profit, making sure that we can continue to grow our businesses, and making sure that we're not running around like headless chickens trying to do everything, because it's not sustainable, it's not a business, and you will create another job. And I tell you for a fact, I got out of a 9 to 5 and into property to get away from the rat race, not to give myself a massive headache. And I hear so many people saying, it's okay, it doesn't matter, it's my business. It does. That's great at the beginning, but after a while, it will grind on you, it won't work, okay? So make sure you don't make those mistakes. Make sure that you set yourself up for success, help yourself to the free tools and resources, and stay connected. Subscribe to this channel. You get weekly videos with tips and tricks to help you on your rent-to-rent business and moving forward. And of course, we have the podcast as well, the Property Unleashed podcast that has 2 episodes coming out every week. We have the free tools and resources, and we have training if you require it and need it. So everything is there to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes everybody else is making. Make sure you invest with skill and knowledge, as one of my mentors always used to tell me, and make sure you're focusing on your vision and chasing those goals daily. Okay? You take care, and I'll see you in the next video.